It was a rough day because came to the realization of something that I already knew years ago. But me and my dad just simply cannot work together, you know. And it's been that way since we started, 10 years ago. Because there's just certain ways that he likes to do things and certain ways that I like to do things. We don't see eye to eye. And I realize he's never gonna change, and I'm never gonna change. Like, I believe what I believe so strongly that I'm not willing to bend or compromise my character or my beliefs and the way that I treat people, the way that I speak to people in order to make that relationship work. It happens, things don't always work out with family and business, and we try to make it work. We made a lot of money together, but you know what? At a certain point, you just gotta come to the realization that if you wanna grow and you wanna move and become the best version of yourself, you have to remove yourself from spaces, environments, and situations that are gonna hold you back. And I feel like, unfortunately, my dad holds me back because his way of doing things doesn't let me fully express myself and what I want to do and the way I want to do it. So my dad is one of those people who he's very pessimistic. Like, my dad has such a worst case scenario view in life, and I guess that's what's made him very successful. But I'm the type of person, I'm the complete opposite. I'm very optimistic to the point where I may be delusional sometimes, but you know what? That's what works for me, and that's what pushes me and motivates me to do better, knowing that the potential to win or the potential reward for taking risks is what motivates me, and my dad's the type of person where if I tell him something that I want to do, or I say I want to do a certain thing, he'll be like, well, how are you going to do that? Well, what if that doesn't happen? What if this happens? Or what if that? Like, what's your plan? How are you going to do this? I'm just at a point in my life where, like, I no longer am going to tolerate that in my life. So I love my dad. I have nothing but respect for him. If it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be who I am today. So there's always going to be that respect there. But as far as moving forward in my life, unless he changes or makes some sort of real change in his life to where he can learn to speak to people and treat people a certain way, then we're probably not going to have much of a relationship. At the end of the day, I have my own family I got to take care of now. And, I got my own kids, I got my wife. So that's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I'm dedicating my life to, providing for my family, and glorifying God. And again, like, if me and my dad, like, amend things in the future, great. But as of right now, it is what it is. And the only reason why I'm speaking this on camera is because, like I said, I make videos because I want to document my life journey, right? Things that happen. And that's one of those things in my life that's happening right now. And I usually don't talk about things like this. Like, I keep my personal life very personal. But what good is it for me to only show you the highs in life and I don't tell you about the lows, And yesterday was a really tough day for me because it sucks that my father is the one that all my life has kind of put fear and doubt in my heart and in my mind, when I wanted to pursue things. Like, when I wanted to play football in college, he was the one that was like, you're wasting your time. Why are you trying to be a football player? Like, how are you going to make money? How are you going to survive? How are you going to make a living? Like, they're never going to pay you as much as you're going to make working with me and working for yourself and da-da-da-da. So, like, all these things. Same thing when I wanted to start boxing. My dad was like, oh, well, you're just going to get hurt. Like, why you want to box? Like, you don't need to box, this and that. Like, you're smarter than that. Like, why do you want to waste your time with that? Da-da-da. Like, so all my life, my dad has been that type of person, and it hurt me because I have a son now. And when I think about my son telling me, hey, Dad, I want to go do this. I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be a doctor. I want to do this, that, whatever the case. My initial response is not, oh, well, how are you going to do that? Or why would you waste your time doing that? My initial response is, okay, let's figure it out. Let's do it. Like, is that what you really want to do? And if it is really what you want to do, then let's figure it out. Let's create a plan. Let me help you. Let me guide you. Let me share my experience with you and help you reach your goals, right? That would be my initial response. And the fact that my dad's was never like that, I guess that's why I try to motivate people. I'm trying to give people what my dad never gave me, that motivation, that inspiration, that encouragement, like, hey, you can do it, you know, go ahead, pursue it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's that. Listen, man, whenever you want to elevate in life, whenever it's time for you to go to that next level, wherever you're at, you're going to have to let go of some things. Now, that may be some people, that may be some vices, that may be certain hobbies you have, certain addictions, whatever the case may be. But every new level requires a different sacrifice. The higher you go in that pyramid of success, the more and more you're gonna have to sacrifice. Not only are you gonna have to sacrifice more, but the heavier the sacrifice is gonna be, the harder it's gonna be, the more painful it's gonna be. So just remember, for those of you who wanna be successful in life, for those of you who want to make something of yourself, just know and understand that the higher you go and the more success that you reach, the more pain you're gonna have to endure, the more mental fortitude you're gonna have, the more discipline, the more endurance, the more patience you're gonna have to increase every single time you reach a new level. And so a lot of times in life, we reach that comfort zone, right? Where you're making better money than you used to, but you're not exactly where you wanna be. You're making more money than your friends and your family and everybody that you know, but you're not at that point where you want to be. You might be living well, you might be satisfied, you might be able to pay all your bills, you probably aren't living check to check, or maybe you are living check to check, but it's because you're overspending on things that you don't really need. But nonetheless, most of you will reach that comfort zone in your life and you'll stay there, right? Because that's what most people do. Most people reach that comfort zone and then they stay there for the rest of their lives, because at a certain point it gets too painful to go to that next step. At a certain point it gets too stressful to get to that next step. The pain is too much, the betrayals, the losses, the embarrassments, the mistakes, the failures, it becomes too much, and people would rather settle in that comfort zone than push and get to where they truly in their heart want to get to. And if we would just stop lying to ourselves, and instead of saying, oh, I could be that or I could do that, just say, you know what, I'm not willing to make the sacrifices and put in the work necessary to get what I say I really want. Because life is going to test you, and there's going to come a point in time where you're going to have to prove, do you really want what you say you want? Do you really want the things that you say you want? Because if you do, then nothing will get in your way. Nothing. No obstacle, doesn't matter what it is, you will find a way. If there's a will and a way, you will find it, right? But if it's not really what you want, and it's just something that you said you wanted because you wanted to impress somebody, or because you're trying to make your mom happy, your dad happy, or your friends, or you were trying to prove something to someone, if that's the only reason why you said you wanted that thing, more than likely you're not going to achieve it, right? Because it has to be something that you will do whether you get paid for it or not for the rest of your life. It has to be something that every single waking moment of your life you're thinking about it. You can't stop thinking about it. It's constantly in the back of your mind, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And the days that you don't do it, you feel horrible. You feel like you're missing out. You feel like you're wasting your life because you're not doing the thing that you were created to do, the thing that God put you on this planet to do. So you have to figure it out. And the only way I can describe it to you is like that, is if you don't constantly think about it, if you're not constantly dreaming about it, wishing for it, like wanting it, working towards it, writing it down, visualizing it, then it's not what you really want. That's not the thing that you really want. The thing that you really want calls you just as much as you call it. It calls to your soul. It calls to your mind, to your heart. You can't imagine a life not accomplishing this. You won't be able to live with yourself. You not accomplishing this goal will be the biggest regret of your life. If that's how you feel about this thing, then go ahead and pursue it, and pursue it with all of your might. Like, the mentality is get rich or die trying. Literally, like, die trying. Okay, even if you never make it, die trying. Die trying. Spend the rest of your natural life pursuing this goal, pursuing this vision that you have, this dream, this purpose that God has placed on your heart, this purpose that God has revealed to you. Once you're exposed, you cannot be unexposed. Once you realize this is what God created me to do, you will never be able to go back. You will never be able to just say, you know what, God, no, I don't want to do this. Because even if you do say, and you quit on it, let's say you don't pursue it, you don't go after it, you don't chase that dream, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So it's like, sure, you could choose not to do it, but literally the pain in your mind and the regret of not doing it is going to kill you. That's how painful it's going to be to not do this thing that you were created to do. So think about it. Think about it. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something that you truly want to do and you truly want to accomplish and you really want to share with the world. There's something inside of you. I don't know what it is. It could be a book, it could be a song, it could be a video, it could be multiple things, it could be all those three combined. I don't know what it is, but there's something inside of you that you've been dreaming about since you were a little kid, a child, and you've wanted to share it with the world, and you just are too scared to do it. You're too afraid to pursue it because you're afraid of failing, you're afraid of what people are going to say, you're afraid of people criticizing you, judging you, you know, talking smack online, you're afraid of what your friends are going to think. Your fear is stopping you from pursuing this thing. So you have to decide, you have to make a decision. Is it really worth it for me? Do I really want what I say I want? And if you do, then you have no choice but to do it. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.